We are live yet again from the beautiful Degas House at the Fastport Studios. This is Road Gang Radio. Take it away, Jimmy.
Speaking of Fastport, Brad Bentley is still with us. They're out there solving America's toughest recruiting and workforce challenges through research technology. Most importantly, they're solving it through the people that work for them and the people they find for you. From registered apprenticeships to veteran readiness, you can learn more at fastport.com or nationalapprenticeship.org. Speaking about finding the people that you need, few companies out there in the trucking and transportation industry are better doing it than Bennett Family of Companies. By the way, they are Atlanta's #1 woman-owned business. We Care is a motto that begins with CEO Marcia Taylor and drives every employee, owner, operator, and contractor and agent. And by the way, I'm praising them, but I'm praising them for all of you guys who aspire to own your own business. For those of you who are just starting your own business, one of the crucial things, our friends at Rees Across America do this really well too, it is using your marketing to stay on target, is to actually message discipline is so important. And you can tell it in everyone you talk to from Bennett. Jason is joining us this morning, Jason Brady of the Bennett Family of Companies. He's on the road. He's got just a little bit of time for us this morning. I know you can't be here for the full half hour, but we wanted to get you in here to say good morning. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
We don't have any complaints. Brad Bentley of Fastport is here with me, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze. I wanted to give you a chance to kind of talk about, the process of recruiting, what Bennett is looking for, because one of the things that we've talked about on the air and in person is, the hardest thing is not so much making a decision between a qualified candidate and unqualified candidate. It's sometimes you have people who are qualified and they're just not right for Bennett. And sometimes there are people that you would love to hire and they just don't fit perfectly in because of what you're looking for. So how do you make those hard decisions about, great driver, not exactly what you're looking for, and how do you help them while at the same time not onboarding somebody that you really can't use? Am I making any sense, Jason, or am I just tying you in knots?
You are making complete and total sense.
All right. So talk a little bit about that dilemma.
So timing-wise, this is great for this interview because we're coming off of a great weekend that we spent with our drive Park Speedway in Atlanta. Had a big celebration on Thursday night with honoring our drivers of the year and our women driver of excellence, and then enjoyed the race on Friday and Saturday. And so I got to spend some time with our top drivers at Bennett, and that was probably one of the best experiences I've had, and I have each year, since I've joined the company. And, to maybe better answer your question, if you are an owner-operator out there and you have that entrepreneurial spirit and really are motivated to grow your own business, leasing on with Bennett is a great idea. If you have a strong foundation and faith, freedom in your family, then it's a great opportunity for you. As far as the qualifications go, we have 14 business units that range from, hotshot drivers to our drive-away division, all the way up to heavy and specialized. So that's a range of different certifications and levels of drivers that, we want to attract. But if you have that spirit of growing your own business and being an owner-operator, that's the right fit for you.
Jason, I have a follow-up, and you made me think about something. I often tell people, rather than telling me what's wrong, tell me what's right, and I can give you more of that. And I was kind of curious, when you guys talk to the people who drive for you the best, when you talk to the first team, the A-listers, the Hall of Famers, do you kind of study them and say, this is the guy, this is the gal we're looking for? And so the closer this person is to replicating who do you use what is positive about Bennett to find other people as opposed to looking for negatives to say no to? Do you use the people that you have on your staff as examples for yourself to find people that you want to actually on board? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. One of our greatest marketing, campaigns or our marketing strategy is to have our drivers, the ones that are successful and have been successful at Bennett, the ones that have been there for a year, the ones that have been there for 20 years, just listen to them talk and listen to them tell other drivers, what Bennett's all about and what there is to offer. And you said it earlier, I think, it's not for everybody. Bennett's not for everybody. But there are a lot of drivers out there that I think are looking for what we have to offer, and to hear it from our other drivers, that's the best advertising we can have, because they'll tell you not only what's great about Bennett, but they'll tell you what they need to do to find the great in Bennett. And they're just honest and authentic. And you can't ask for a better advertisement than that.
No, it's one of the best ad campaigns. I tell a lot of people, they'll come to me and say, hey, we want you to write some spots for us. And I'll look at them and say, I'm happy to do that for you. Why don't you just say, don't take it from us, take it from this great, articulate, amazing driver that we have, and let them tell you where they stand. The best recruiting strategy is actually the people that drive for you, isn't it?
Because like I said, I've always said every dream job has its parts of the job that aren't so dreamy. And our drivers are going to be real with people that are thinking about making a move, whether it's to Bennett or to lease home with Bennett or some other company, and to hear the good but the honest feedback as well helps make that decision. And when they can make that decision based on that feedback, then they know walking into it what to expect, right? They know what they need to do to be successful at Bennett and how they can leverage what we have to offer to help grow their business.
I tell you this, there's a consistent thing among the companies that, and I call people friendly competitors, because so many people now who are actually succeeding are beginning to understand there's room enough for everybody, provided that you actually do the job properly. What I'm consistently hearing is from the best recruiters and the best people who are out there telling the stories of their companies is, we're not going to sugarcoat it. The following things about the job are really difficult, and if you can't handle that, don't come here. But if you can handle those things, there's a lot of rewards there. And it seems that the best recruiters, it's crazy, I know, Jason, are actually telling people the truth, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think that's what we all want. We all want to hear the truth, and when we can hear the truth, even if it's not exactly what you want to hear, like I said, what to expect then. You know what is ahead of you if you make that decision. And, that's, again, there's no better advertising than to hear the truth.
One of the things that you guys do, Jason, that's really, you talk about going to the racetrack. I've been to a couple of your events as well. You guys really do a great job of kind of saying thank you to all your employees and having parties and events. And, Brad is here with me. He's going to have a question for you in 1 second before we have to wrap up with you, because you got to get back to your very busy life. How long do those darn things take to plan, dude? Because we're actually in the middle of doing something like that right now. How long do those things take to plan?
Yeah, you guys got a big event coming up, next month?
Yeah.
It's coming up pretty soon.
23rd, yeah.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, no, I'm fortunate enough to have such a great team that I get to work with that does the majority of the planning, and then a lot of volunteers, that's not their normal day job, that pitch in and plan these events. And we started planning the Driver of the Year, Women Driver of Excellence event back in December, and like I said, we had it last weekend. And what we want to do is make sure that we have an experience where we can, again, just honestly give our thanks for everything that these drivers do, and the ones that are at the top of their game, they're really driving our business. And, I know that I'm able to do what I'm able to do because they're out there doing what they're doing. And, if we can just show any type of thanks, and it's not necessarily the fact that we put them on the track, they get to do track rides, they get to meet, drivers, those types of things. They just want to sit around with other drivers and enjoy an evening where they can tell stories and, get recognized. And I think we do that well. I think we do it well because I have a team that does it from the heart.
And Jason, I'll jump in on that. You said the magic word there. It's recognition. And I want to tell you, this maybe before you came to Bennett, but I guess it's been 10 or 11 years ago now. I was at the Truckload Carriers Association at the time. But Bennett was one of the first companies who participated in a welcome home ceremony for Vietnam veterans who were still in the workforce. Yeah. I had the honor to go down and speak at that just south of Atlanta. And I'll never forget it. I rented out a country club. You had the American flags as a backdrop. You had black and white pictures of those service members when they were in uniform, and then you had them present real time. It was a very emotional night. But that was in conjunction with the Vietnam 50th commemoration, and Jimmy Mack, you were involved with one of those last year with Sarah Lee and Waypoint coming back. But Bennett does it as good as anyone I've ever seen. We've done those for several other trucking companies over time, both with TCA and Fastport. But that's the one that's always been the most special to me. Probably that one in Melton.
Yeah, and Jason, with that in mind, with what Brad just said, you guys are vet ready. Correct? You are vet ready. You're ready to onboard veterans, not just love veterans, but you're ready to actually bring them on board, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's not just in a driver or owner-operator role, right? We support our veterans and look for opportunities to bring, anybody that is a veteran that is interested in transportation logistics. Bennett is a great home because we support our veterans. We believe in our veterans. We know that, we have the freedoms that we have because they've done what they've done in their military career. I was up at Richard Childress Racing a few weeks ago for Veterans Breakfast we sponsored with Veterans Bridge Home. I got to meet 2 World War II veterans. And the room was full of Korean War. We had 3 World War II veterans. We had 25 that were sworn in at that breakfast that were going to start their military career shortly thereafter. And that is something that Ms. Taylor is a firm believer in, that we have to support our troops. We have to support our veterans.
Nobody does it better. I remember one other funny story about that. I think Lee Gentry was who we worked with on putting that event together years ago, and had all those black and white photos. We had all those men that were up there being recognized that night. And I remember when it was over, I said, you've got somebody in your company that wasn't up there. Why didn't you have anything for Phil Hibbs, who was somebody I had worked with in recruiting? And Phil was one of those people, like so many veterans, who never talked about their service. And he had served 2 tours in Vietnam. And even within his own company, there are a lot of people that didn't know he was a veteran.
The number of people who bury the lead, it must drive you crazy. I mean, I bet when you find out somebody served, it's like, why didn't you bother to tell us? You should probably put that on your resume next time, right, Jason?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was, if Phil Hibbs, that's just the type of guy he is. Right?
Absolutely.
It's something that he did because it was the right thing to do. And he didn't do it for the recognition. And so many veterans out there, I think, do get overlooked because of that, because they're humble. They serve because they believe that it was the right thing to do. What I would say to that, is 1, thank you. And 2, let us know, because, Bennett is here to serve our veterans, to serve our military. And, it's sometimes a hard thing to talk about. But, that's something that, again, Ms. Taylor just really firmly believes in, and you just feel it throughout the company.
Yeah, by the way, and it's okay if you don't know, have you ever heard of a couple that actually drives for your company called Snowman and Tinkerbell?
What was the name again? Snowman and who?
And Tinkerbell.
I do not.
Okay, so our friend Beach Bum, this is what I love about the new platform, says a particular couple that I know, Daniel and Phyllis Snow, they go by Snowman and Tinkerbell on the radio, drive for Bennett now, and they seem very happy there. So I love our new platform, by the way, Jason, because I actually can see all the people listening to the show chatting with me right now. Big shout out to you guys from Beach Bum. Just wanted to say how much his friends Daniel and Phyllis Snow love driving for Bennett.
That's funny. I'm going to have to reach out to them today, because I did not know that was their nickname. I do know the Snows. I know them really well. Actually, they were with us this past weekend, so I am definitely going to give Snowman a call today and give him a hard time.
Yeah, by the way, tell him that you know this because Beach Bum gave you the inside info. And by the way, that's our 15 minutes, my friend. By the way, I love the fact that you're calling us from the road. We get so many of our interviews with people from the road. It's good to hear you. Be safe on the rest of your drives. We're going to see you soon, Jason. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, guys. I always appreciate it. Talk to y'all soon.
And, of course, as always, guys, if Bennett might be the place for you, just like we've talked to Brown Dog and other places, please go to Bennett IG.com. From their humble beginnings as a small family business to their exponential growth into a family of companies, our core values have never wavered. That's Bennett Trucking, by the way. They're a monster now, dude. That went from being a small operation many decades ago to being one of the major players, not just in the Southeast region, but all over the world, right?
Well, and having the racetrack and all those tie-ins, they've gone global.
I mean, they really
15
have.
divisions.
They really have.
And a great company. Marcia Taylor, fantastic.
Yeah, and
awesome.
Polly Trotter, who we know is our
Yes.
friend. I mean, just about as quality as they come. Great Americans.
Great
They
Americans.
are not overrated. By the way, we have to explain that, by the way. We keep on talking about that. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are great Americans, and then there are those who are overrated, people who are in love with the smell of their own farts. You know the kind of people I'm talking about. But a great American isn't. A great American actually enjoys the smell of others' farts. That's what it kind of comes down to.